All right, so today we're diving into something that might not at first sound all that exciting.
Yeah.
Compliance.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Not the most.
Not the sexiest topic, but stick with us, because what if I told you that compliance, often seen as this like cost center,
Uh-huh.
could actually be a secret weapon for saving money
Absolutely.
and even boosting your bottom line?
It's true.
We got a whole stack
If we dug into
of real-world examples and scenarios to show you just how this works.
real world stuff, we're seeing a real shift in how businesses are approaching compliance these days.
Oh, yeah.
It's going from like a box checking exercise to like a strategic advantage.
Yeah, like
So,
it's becoming a tool.
it is.
Yeah.
And the exciting part is this applies to so many areas, from finance and tech to even employee happiness, which we'll get into.
We will get into that.
Yeah.
So let's start with the big one. Avoiding those massive financial hits that can really make a company sweat.
Yeah, the scary stuff.
For financial institutions, we're talking about things like anti-money laundering,
AML.
AML,
Yep.
and know your customer regulations,
KYC.
KYC.
Yeah.
If you're not compliant with those, you could be looking at fines in the millions, even billions of dollars.
Yeah. And those are just the immediate costs, too.
Right.
What people don't always think about is the ripple effect.
Oh, the ripple effect, huge.
Yeah, damage to your reputation,
Yeah.
loss of trust from customers and investors.
Loss of trust, yeah.
And even restrictions on your ability to operate.
Oh, yeah, like you can't do business.
Certain markets, you're just out.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a domino effect.
Big time.
And it's not just in finance.
No, not at all.
Take the General Data Protection Regulation.
GDPR.
GDPR for short.
Yep.
This EU regulation is all about protecting personal data. And if companies don't comply,
Uh-oh.
they can be fined up to 4% of their global turnover.
Ouch.
That's a serious chunk of change
Serious chunk.
that no business wants to lose.
Nobody wants to lose that, no.
GDPR is a great example of how regulations are evolving to keep pace with the digital age.
Absolutely. And it's not just about protecting data either.
What else is it about?
It's about respecting individual privacy
Right.
and fostering trust in the online world.
So important.
Hugely important.
And let's not forget about industries like pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Companies have to invest so much in rigorous clinical trials to comply with regulations and get their products approved.
Tons of money.
But, by meeting those standards,
Right.
they're not only ensuring safety,
Absolutely.
but also avoiding potentially astronomical lawsuits and settlements down the road.
Yeah. Pay now or pay later. But in this case,
It's a lot more.
much higher stakes. Yeah.
Proactive compliance is a form of risk management,
It is.
identifying potential problems and addressing them head-on,
Exactly.
which ultimately saves money
saves money.
and protects your business in the long run.
In the long run.
So we've seen how compliance can help you avoid those big, financial hits.
Huge hits.
But let's dig a little deeper.
Okay.
Did you know that compliance can actually lead to hidden savings and unexpected benefits?
Oh, yeah. It's like finding money you didn't even know you had.
It is like finding money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Companies with strong safety and compliance measures, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
often get lower insurance premiums.
Makes sense.
Right.
It does.
Insurers see them as lower risk
Right.
because they've demonstrated that they're committed to doing things the right way.
They've shown that they're being...
We're trying.
Yeah.
It's responsible.
Yeah, and those savings add up over time.
I bet.
They do.
And here's a surprising one.
Okay.
Tax savings.
Huh. Interesting.
Companies that comply with regulations like renewable energy adoption credits
Yeah. Okay.
can actually lower their tax bill.
Oh, wow.
So not only are they contributing to a greener future,
Right. Doing good.
but they're also getting a financial reward for it.
That's great.
It's a win-win situation.
Absolutely. This reflects a trend we're seeing more and more,
What's that?
where compliance is becoming more intertwined with sustainability.
Interesting.
Investors and consumers are demanding greater transparency and ethical practices.
They are.
And companies that embrace compliance are often better positioned to meet those expectations.
To meet those expectations, yeah.
Yeah.
And for all you finance-minded folks out there, guess what?
Let's hear it.
Transparent financial reporting, driven by compliance with standards like the Sarbanes-Oxley Act,
SOX.
SOX,
Mm-hmm.
can boost investor confidence
Makes sense.
and lead to higher company valuations.
Yeah.
SOX was put in place after, some major corporate scandals
Oh, yeah.
to ensure the accuracy and reliability of financial reporting.
Right. You got to have that transparency.
Transparency is
So important.
significant.
Yeah, it all boils down to building trust,
Trust.
demonstrating integrity.
Right.
When investors see a company taking compliance seriously, they're more likely to have faith in its long-term stability and growth potential.
Makes sense.
And that can be a game changer for attracting investments and driving up market value.
Really a game changer.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about industries like healthcare, where regulatory approvals are just
Oh, yeah. Huge.
crucial.
Absolutely.
Pharmaceutical companies, for example, need to get new drugs and treatments approved before they can hit the market.
Right. Got to jump through those hoops.
Companies that invest in compliance expertise can actually navigate the approval process more efficiently,
Interesting.
leading to faster approvals.
Okay.
And in an industry where time can literally save lives,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's a significant advantage.
Absolutely. This highlights how compliance can actually be a catalyst for innovation.
Hmm.
By understanding and adhering to regulations, companies can bring new products and services to market more effectively,
Right.
which benefits both the business and the people it serves.
The people, right?
So as you can see, compliance isn't just about avoiding negative outcomes. It's about unlocking hidden potential and creating positive change across the board.
So we've talked about the financial benefits, but there's another layer to this that's just as important, if not more so, the human element.
Right. The people.
And that's what we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
Stay tuned.
Can't wait.
Welcome back. So we've been exploring how compliance can actually save you money and boost your bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
But now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the human side of compliance.
Right, because at the end of the day, business is about people.
It is about people.
Yeah,
And that's where things get really interesting.
absolutely.
So when we think about compliance in a human-centric way,
Yeah.
we start to see its impact on everything.
Yeah, everything.
From employee well-being
Mm-hmm.
to building a culture of trust and integrity.
Exactly.
Let's start with employee well-being.
Okay.
One of the biggest costs for businesses is employee turnover.
Oh, yeah, huge.
Constantly having to recruit and hire and train new people.
The costs add up.
It's a lot of work, but guess what?
That's-
Fair workplace practices,
Yes.
driven by HR compliance,
Okay.
can actually help reduce turnover
Interesting.
and create a more satisfied and stable workforce.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. When employees feel valued, respected, and protected,
Yeah.
they're more likely to be engaged, right?
Right.
More committed to their work.
Yeah.
And that means higher productivity,
Oh, yeah.
lower absenteeism,
Right.
and just a more positive work environment.
It's a ripple effect.
It is, just like we talked about with financial risks.
It is.
But in this
there's
case,
a positive.
It's a good ripple effect.
It is.
Benefits everybody.
And it's not just about avoiding legal issues either.
Right, bigger than that.
It's about creating a workplace
Yeah.
where people feel safe,
Kids
reported,
and empowered.
yeah, empowered to do their best work.
I was reading a case study
Oh, yeah.
about a company that implemented this
Hmm.
comprehensive compliance program
Okay.
that focused on ethical behavior and fair treatment of employees. Good for them.
And they saw a significant drop in employee complaints
Interesting.
and a noticeable increase
Right.
in morale and productivity.
Wow, so their employees felt heard and valued.
They did.
That makes a big difference.
It does, and that made a huge difference.
Yeah, that's a great example of how compliance can have a real impact
Right.
on the day-to-day lives of employees.
Yeah, it's not just these abstract rules. It's
Wow.
about
It's about the culture.
the culture.
Yeah, creating a workplace culture that fosters respect, fairness, open communication.
And speaking of creating that positive culture,
Okay.
let's talk about the role of compliance in preventing fraud
Yeah.
and supply chain disruptions.
Okay.
Because these issues don't just hit a company's bottom line.
No, they don't.
They can also have a devastating impact on people's lives.
They can?
Think about the consequences of a data breach, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
Not only could a company face hefty fines and reputational damage,
Huge.
but individuals could also have their personal information compromised,
Right, and that leads to
leading to identity theft,
identity theft.
financial hardship.
Yeah, it's bad.
And when it comes to supply chains,
Yeah.
disruptions caused by unethical practices or a lack of compliance
Right.
can lead to product shortages, delays,
Yeah.
and even safety issues,
Yeah, that's a big one.
potentially affecting the well-being of consumers
Right.
and the livelihoods of those involved in the supply chain.
So it's a good reminder that compliance isn't just about following rules.
Right.
It's about protecting people
Protecting people, yeah.
and ensuring that businesses operate ethically and responsibly.
So we've talked about the impact of compliance on employees
Mm-hmm.
and the wider community.
Yeah.
But what about the individual?
Interesting.
How can compliance be an investment in our personal lives?
That's a great question. It all comes down to awareness and empowerment.
Okay.
By understanding our rights and responsibilities as individuals,
Yeah.
we can make informed decisions that protect our own interests
Right.
and contribute to a fairer, more ethical society.
It's about knowing what we're entitled to.
Exactly.
Right.
For example, being aware of data privacy regulations like GDPR empowers us to control how our personal information is collected and used.
Right.
We can opt out of data collection, request access to our data, even have it deleted if we want.
And it's not just about data privacy.
Right.
Being aware of consumer protection laws, financial regulations,
Yep.
workplace safety standards
Oh, yes.
helps us navigate everyday situations with more confidence
Absolutely.
and make choices that align with our values.
It's about knowing our rights and holding businesses accountable
Yeah,
for ethical practices.
absolutely.
But remember, compliance isn't just about reacting to rules.
Right.
It's about being proactive, shaping a better world,
It is.
asking questions, raising concerns, advocating for change when we see something that's not right.
So whether it's in our professional lives or our personal lives, compliance empowers us to make a positive impact.
It does.
And that's a pretty powerful investment, wouldn't you say?
I would say so, yes.
Wow. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive,
We have.
haven't we?
Yeah. From dodging those fines to uncovering hidden savings and even exploring like the human side of compliance.
Right.
It's been quite a journey.
It has been a journey, and I think what's become really clear is that compliance is so much more than just a set of rules to follow.
Right. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
It's a culture and a really powerful tool for creating positive change.
It really is. You said something earlier about compliance being an investment in a better world.
Yeah.
That really resonated with me.
Good.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when we think about the purpose of regulations,
Right.
it often comes down to protecting people, the environment, and the integrity of our systems.
Right.
Whether it's about ensuring fair labor practices, safeguarding consumer data, or promoting sustainable business practices. Compliance plays a crucial role in creating a more ethical and equitable society.
It's almost like, it's like setting the ground rules for a fair game
I like that.
so that everyone has a chance to succeed and thrive.
Exactly.
And when businesses actually prioritize compliance,
Yeah.
they're not just mitigating risks.
No,
They're contributing to a more stable
they are.
and sustainable future.
For everyone, yeah.
For everyone. It's like that saying, a rising tide lifts all boats.
I love that saying.
When we raise the bar for ethical behavior and responsible practices,
Yeah.
it benefits the whole ecosystem.
The whole ecosystem, yeah. That's why I think compliance is such an exciting field.
It is exciting.
It's not just about avoiding those negative consequences.
Right.
It's about proactively shaping a better future.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
what's like the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
I would say embrace compliance as an opportunity, not a burden. It's a chance to build trust, create value, and contribute to a world where businesses operate ethically and sustainably.
And remember, it's not just about,
Yeah.
the big corporations or these complex regulations.
Yeah.
It's about each of us
Yeah.
making conscious choices in our everyday lives
Absolutely.
to support ethical practices
Yep.
and holding ourselves and others accountable.
Well said.
So the next time you hear the word compliance, don't just think about
Yeah.
rules and regulations.
No.
Think about the positive impact
Yeah.
it can have on your business,
Right.
your community,
Your community. Yeah.
and the world around you.
The world around you.
That's it for our deep dive into compliance as an investment.
Awesome.
We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and maybe even a little bit surprising.
I hope so too.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep diving.